Good evening, everyone. So we will wait for 5 more minutes. So let others join. So good evening, everyone. So we will start our class today. So let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible for everyone, right? So let me know in the chat box. Please unmute yourself, guys. Krishna, can you please mute? Okay. So let me start the class. I hope everyone is fine with what is Java, right? So what is Java? So can anyone can reply in the chat box? What is Java? Yesterday we have discussed what is Java, right? So can anyone say about Java? What is Java? Yes, it is a high-level programming language and it is also called as object-oriented programming language also. Yes, it is a popular and widely used programming language also. Yes. So I hope everyone is clear. Yeah. Yeah, Venkatesh, it is platform independent. Yeah, it is strictly typed language too. Yeah, I hope everyone is clear about the definition of what is Java, right? Yeah, it is used to develop mobile apps, web apps, desktop apps. Okay, any enterprise level applications we can develop through any enterprise level applications we can develop through Java. Okay, yeah, it is both interpreted and compiled language too. Yes, so let me start. So today's concept. So we till now we know what is Java, right? So we need to know who introduced that Java, right? Okay. So we need to know who introduced that Java too, right? So today we will start with who introduced that Java. Okay. So who introduced Java? Java. So anyone knows who introduced the Java? Anyone know? Yes, James Gosling. Okay, so who introduced the Java? Java was introduced by James Gosling in 1995 at Sun Microsystems. Okay, so who introduced? Java was introduced by James Gosling. Okay, James Gosling in 1995. Okay, in 1995 at Sun Microsystems. Okay, at Sun Microsystems. Okay, so this Sun Microsystems is one company. So there he, James Gosling, and his team all together introduced the Java. Okay, and now the Java was owned by Oracle. Okay, Java is owned by Oracle. Okay, and the latest version which we are using nowadays is JDK 24. Okay, so JDK 24 is the latest version of Java. So Java was introduced by James Gosling in 1995 at Sun Microsystems, and now it was owned by Oracle, and the latest version of Java is 24. Okay, so is it clear? I hope everyone is clear regarding this. So let me move forward. Yesterday we discussed what is Java, and now we will discuss some basic concepts like types of languages which are present in the programming. Okay, so let me introduce with the topic. So types of languages. Okay, so how many types we are having? Anyone know?
Three types, ma'am.
Yeah, we are having three types of languages in programming. Okay, so first one is high level programming language. Okay, high level. So please mute yourself. High level programming language. Okay, high level programming language. And coming to the second one, which is low level language. Okay, which is low level language. And coming to the third type, it is intermediate language. Okay, intermediate language. And this high level language, okay, the high level language is understood by the humans. Okay, who will understand the high level language? We, the users, or the clients or customers, or we can say human beings. Okay, will understand the high level language. Okay, so who understands this high level language? This high level language is understood by understood by human beings. Okay. And coming to the low level language, the low level language is understood by missions. Okay, we will understand the we will understand the low level language. It is understood by missions. Okay, so the low level language is nothing but zeros and ones. Okay, what is that? Zeros and ones. Okay, and coming to the intermediate language, this intermediate language is partially understood by humans and missions too. Okay, so under intermediate language is partially understood by humans and missions too. Okay, so these are all the three types of languages we are having under programming. First one is high level, low level and intermediate. High level language is understood by humans and that is also called as source code. Okay, and the high level programming language is also called as source code. Coming to the low level programming language which is understood by the missions, that is also called as mission code. Okay,
Okay.
please mute yourself, don't disturb the class. Okay, low level language is understood by the missions and it is also called as mission code. Okay, coming to the intermediate level language, okay, which is partially understood by humans and missions, so that is also called as byte code. Okay, I think everyone is clear, right? So types of languages, I think everyone is clear. Let me move forward. So why we need these languages, why we need this high level language, low level language, intermediate language, right? So mainly we the coders or the developers will write the code in high level language. Okay, in which language we will write? We will write the code in high level language. Okay, but we understand the high level language, the users, the humans will understand the high level language, but the missions cannot understand that, right? So there should be a mediator to convert the high level language to low level language, right? So there should be a mediator. That mediator in Java we are having two mediators. Okay, those are compiler and interpreter. Okay, so normally what will happen means, so the Java is two-step process. Okay, so the Java is two-step process. Two-step process. Okay, so the first step is compilation, or I can say compiler, compiler, and the second one is interpreter. Okay, it follows two-step process. First one is compiler and the second one is interpreter, or we can say compiler has a converter 1 and interpreter has a converter 2, because the coders will write the code in high level programming language, but the missions cannot understand that, right? So in order to convert high level programming language to low level, there are two mediators, or we can say there are two converters inside Java. Okay, in Java it is a two-step process. So the compiler is the first converter and the interpreter is the second converter. Okay, I think till now everyone is clear, right? Let me know, is it clear? Okay, so let me move forward. So what the compiler and interpreter will do, so let me show. Okay, so think that this is the, wait a second, think that this is the Java code, which is a high level programming language, right? We will write the code in high level programming language only, right? So This is the Java code, and we normally save the Java code with extension of .java. Okay, with extension of .java. So this is the high level programming language, or we can say it as source code too. Okay, what we can say? We can simply say it as source code. Okay, so this high level language, it need to convert to the low level language. I said in Java it will take two-step process. So first the compiler will come into the picture. Okay, what the compiler will do? The compiler will convert this source code, which is high level programming language, into intermediate programming language. Okay, so the compiler will convert high level programming language into intermediate programming language. Okay, so this is intermediate programming language, or we can say it as bytecode too. Intermediate programming language. Okay, so or we can say it as bytecode, and this will be with the extension of dot class file. Okay, this will be with the extension of dot class file. Okay, so who which converter is involved in between source code and intermediate language? The compiler. Okay, so the compiler will comes into picture, and the compiler will convert source code to bytecode. Okay, so this is what the compiler will do, the converter 1 will do. Okay, but till now I didn't get low level language, I got only intermediate level language, right? So who will convert this intermediate language to low level language? The interpreter, which is converted to. The converted to, which is interpreter, will convert the intermediate language to low level language. Okay, so now the interpreter will comes into the picture, and it converts to low level language, or we can say mission readable language. Okay, so the interpreter will comes into the picture, and it will convert intermediate language to low level language. Okay, and this low level language will be taken by the machine, and it will execute the program and give back the results to the user. Okay, is it fine? How the two-step process is going in Java? Is it fine for everyone? Is it clear for everyone? Okay, let me know. Okay, so let me show this practically. Okay, so let me show this practically. So what I am doing is I am taking a notepad. Okay, what I am doing, I am just taking a notepad. So let me copy this. So this is my empty notepad. Okay, so what I am doing here is I am just writing some code. Don't bother about code, just observe how dot class file will be generated. Okay, so what I am doing, I am just pasting a code. Okay, so what I am printing, I am trying to print Chendu, one name called Chendu. Okay, so now I need this result too, and I need to get dot class file too. So how it will generate, I will show practically. Okay, so what I am doing, I wrote some code on notepad, and I am saving it now. So let me save. So I am saving that in my desktop. So I am going to my desktop, and I am giving some name. So let me give some name like Chendu. Okay, as I said, we should save the Java code with the extension of .java, right? So I am saving it with extension of .java. Okay, so I have saved. So now I am clicking on save button. I have successfully saved. If you guys observe here, so let me. wait a second. If you guys observe here, I got my .java file here, okay, in the desktop. So now I need to get .class files, .class file also. As I said in the diagram, what will happen? First, the compiler. Okay, so first, let me open my Accelerator. Okay, so first the compiler need to convert the source code to intermediate code, right? Then only I will get the .class file, right? So to convert .java file to .class file in command prompt, we need to use one command. Okay, we need to write one command. What is that command? That command is javac file name. Okay, whatever the name you have given, file name .java. Okay, so this is the name, and if I use this command, if I write this command on command prompt, then I will get .class file. Okay, then I need to get .class file. So we will see now. Okay, so let me close this notepad. Let me open this one more time, and while saving, make sure that that this class file and file name is same. So I have given there Chandu. So I am trying to give here Chandu only, and I am saying saving one more time. Okay, so make sure that, so I have given caps. Let me change one more time. So okay, okay, so now it's fine. So I have changed. Make sure that file name and that class name class name is same. Okay, and after that, what I need to do, I need to generate .class file. So for that, I am opening my command prompt. Okay, so cmd, I am going to my command prompt. So in command prompt, what I need to do, I need to change the directory, because if you observe here, let me right click on this file and let me go to the properties. So this file is present in this particular location, which is C, users, Windows and desktop. This is the path of that file where that path, where that class is present. Okay, so I need to change my directory to this location. For that reason, what I am doing, I am copying this location. So let me copy. Okay, I have successfully copied, and what I want to do here, I want to just I need to write one command like cd, which is nothing but change directory. Okay, cd means change directory, and I am trying to paste my location. Okay, now I am clicking on enter. So now my location, my directory got changed. Okay, so now what I need to do, I need to execute that command which will convert the source code to bytecode. So what is that command? Javac file name. What is the file name? Chandu.java. Okay, so let me execute. So see, it has successfully compiled, and see, if you guys observe here, I got chandu.class file too. Okay, because after compiler successfully compiled, then only we will get .class file. Okay, so is it clear for everyone? How we are generating .class file, is it clear for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So see, so the compiler, if there is no syntax errors, okay, if there is no, while compiling, the compiler will mainly check for the syntax errors. Okay, so if there is no syntax errors in the code, then only it will generate .class file. Okay, otherwise it won't generate .class file. Okay, if there is no syntax errors in the code, then only it will generate .class file, otherwise it won't generate. Okay, so till now I hope it is clear for everyone. Now I got .class file, but I need to get output. right? For that I need to convert the intermediate language to low level language. So who will come into the picture here? Interpreter, which is converted to, right? So for this to interpret, I need to write one more command, which is Java, Java and file name. Okay, so if I write this command, the intermediate language will be converted to the low level language, and this low level language will be taken by the machine and it will generate the response for us. Okay, so let me show. So what I will do, I will again go to command prompt, and what I will try to do, I will try to interpret Java file name. What is my file name? Chandu. Okay, so see, I got my output. I got my output. Okay, this is how it works. I hope everyone is clear.
Yes,
Just,
ma'am.
just 1 minute, I will drink water and come. Chappanaya. 120927. 120927. Mm. Okay. Okay. So is it clear for everyone how the Java two-step process is going on? Whether it is clear for everyone? Please let me know, guys. Then only I will move forward. Be interactive in the class. If I say be interactive, that is not like you should unmute yourself and make sound. Okay, you need to means update in the chat box whether you are understanding or not. Okay, so as I said, if there is no syntax error, then it will convert to the dot class file. So the interpreter, the compiler will check for syntax errors. Then interpreter, what it will check? It will check for logical errors. Okay, what it will check? It will check for logical errors, whether any logic which you wrote on the code, which you wrote inside the code, whether any logic is means it is not understandable, then the interpreter will give logical errors. Okay, so the errors which are given by the interpreter are called as logical errors, and the errors which are given by the compiler are called as syntax errors. Okay, I hope everyone is clear. So let me move forward to another topic, which we will discuss about futures of Java. Okay, so futures of Java, which is very important. So everyone will mainly ask in the interviews. Okay, so what are futures of Java? Okay, we will discuss some. Okay, there are so many futures of Java, but we will discuss the main things. Okay, so Java is platform independent. Okay, Java is platform independent. Okay, why it is platform independent? That I will say. First, I will list out all the futures. Okay, so Java is platform independent, and it is very secure too. Okay, it provides security. And coming to the next thing, it is robust too. Okay, what is robust? I will discuss. Don't worry. And coming to the next, it is portable. Okay, and coming to the next, it is extensible. And coming to the next, it is having garbage collected too. Okay, so like this we are having so many features. If we list any 5 or 6, it is more than enough. Okay, so now we will discuss about all these features one by one. So platform independent. What is this platform independent? Right? So first we need to know what is platform. Correct? First we need to know what is platform. So platform is nothing but any device which is a combination of hardware and software is called as platform. Okay, so any device which is a combination of, so let me write, so what is platform? So any device which is a combination of, which is a combination of both hardware and software. Okay, hardware and software is called as platform. Okay, so if we take our mobile, so our mobile is having hardware and software too, right? So then we can consider it as a platform. Okay, if we take our laptop is having CPU, which is a hardware, and software like operating system, right? Then we can consider it is also a platform. Okay, so platform is nothing but any device surrounded by us which is a combination of both hardware and software is called as platform. Okay, so hardware is nothing but like processor. So hardware is nothing but processor, and the software is nothing but operating system. Okay, software is nothing but operating system. Okay, is it fine? Is it fine? What is platform? Okay, now we will go to what is platform independent. Okay, so why we call Java as platform independent? Because in Java, what will happen means we can write the code in one platform and we can execute that code in another platform. Okay, that is the reason why we call Java as a platform independent. So why we call Java as a platform independent? We can write we can write the
Can
code
write the
we can write the code in one platform, and we can execute that code in another platform, so this is the reason why we call Java as a platform independent. Okay, in simply defining this much big statement, we can simply say that Java follows Ora architecture. Okay, Java follows Ora architecture. Okay, Ora, what is Ora? Write once, run anywhere. Okay, what is Ora? Write once, run anywhere. Run anywhere. Okay, Ora architecture is nothing but write once, run anywhere, means we can write in one platform and we can execute that code in another platform. Okay, so in simply defining a big statement, instead of that we can say it follows Ora architecture. That is the reason Java is platform independent. Okay, so let me show with one example. So think that there is a platform. Okay, like platform 1. Okay, and the platform 1 is of operating system, like let me take Windows operating system. Okay, so platform is of 1 is of Windows operating system, and coming to the next one which is having platform 2. Okay, think that it is having Linux operating system. Okay, as I said, so we can write the code in one platform and we can execute it another platform. In order to execute the program in one another platform, we need to make sure whether JVM is present or not. Okay, so first what we will do means .java file. Okay, this file we will create in platform 1, which is having Windows operating system, and we will compile also. Here only we will compile also. Here only we will compile. If we compile, what we will get? What we will get? Dot class file, right? So this dot class file we will get. So this dot class file, what we will do? We will share this dot class file to the platform 2. Okay, what we will do? We will share this to the platform 2. So we will share this to the platform 2. So now the dot class file is in present in platform 2 also. But in order to execute this dot class file, in order to interpret this dot class file, what I need to have? I need to have JVM. Okay, in that particular platform, I need to have JVM. Without JVM, we cannot execute the dot class files. We need to make sure when we are having dot class file, whether other platform is having JVM or not. Okay, if JVM is present, then only we can execute that dot class file in another platform. Okay, what is this JVM? I will say in the architecture of Java. Okay, so for now just remember, in order to execute a file, in order to execute a dot class file, I need to have JVM inside it. Without JVM I cannot. So we can write the Java code and compile it in one platform, and I can transfer that dot class file to the another platform. If JVM is present in the platform 2, then I can execute the program in platform 2. Okay, is it clear? So this is the Ora architecture. Is it clear for everyone? So let me know. Okay, so let me move forward. So this is why Java is platform independent. So coming to the next feature, security. Okay, so next feature is security. Why Java is secure? Okay, because Java provides security. You may ask how it will provide security, right? So we said, right, so whenever we compile the dot Java file, we will get dot class file, right? So due to this dot class file only, it is secure. Okay, Java is secure due to dot class file. Okay, so Java is secure due to dot class file. Okay, so due to this dot class file, which is bytecode, due to this bytecode only, the Java is secure. Okay, so okay, so due to this bytecode, Java is secure, I am saying. So how it will provide security? Because so if we make any changes in the dot class file, okay, so think that there is a dot Java file and I have compiled it and I generated dot class file. If I change something inside the dot class file and if I send the same dot class file to other platform, then it is not executable at all because we made changes. Okay, so even a little modification cannot accepted by the Java. Okay, so any simple modifications, so even the simple modifications, okay, so even the simple modifications in dot class file is not supported by Java, is not supported by Java. So this is the reason why Java is secure. Is it clear why Java is secure? Let me know. Okay, so let me move forward. So coming to the next feature, which is robust, right? I think robust only. Yeah, robust. Robust. Okay, why Java is robust? Okay, the question is why Java is robust? Because it is capable of handling runtime errors. Okay, so Java is capable of, it is capable of handling runtime errors. That is the reason Java is robust. What is runtime error? That you will get to know in the exception handling. Don't bother till now. So just know robust is nothing but handling the runtime errors that Java can handle at runtime. That is the reason why Java is called as robust. Okay, so coming to the next feature, portable. Okay, so what is portable? Portable is nothing but shareable. Okay, Java code is shareable due to dot class file. With the help of dot class file or dot Java file also we can. Okay, so it is shareable. That is the reason why Java is called as portable. Oh, it is also called as portable language. Okay, coming to the next feature, which is extensible. Okay, so what is this extensible? Okay, so think that you guys are developing one application. Okay, so in order to develop one application we need so many technologies, right? So to develop front end we need HTML, React JS, right? JavaScript, like this we need. And coming to the back end we need some um, database like MongoDB, right? So some SQL queries, like this we need some Oracle and Java or Python, right? To support backend, all these things we need. So here what is happening? To develop backend code, they need Java, MongoDB, like as databases. And coming to the front end, they need HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React JS, right? So what is happening? With the help of so many technologies only, we are trying to develop an application or software, right? So whenever we try to develop an application, one technology or one language need to extend with other language. Okay, one language need to extend with other language. In simple I can say one language need to combine with other language only, then only we can develop an application. Okay, so the Java is extensible. The Java can combine with any other technologies in order to develop an application. So that is the reason Java is called as extensible language. Okay, so Java language can extend or can combine with any other technologies, any other technologies in order to develop an application, in order to develop an application. Okay, so that is the reason why Java is called as extensible language. Okay, so coming to the next feature, which is garbage collector. Garbage collector. So what is this garbage collector? So if you see C or C++, there is no garbage collector. Okay, so what is garbage collector means? Garbage collector will collect unwanted memory space. Okay, it will collect unwanted data from the memory space and free that memory space. So what the garbage collector will do? It will collect unwanted memory space and free that space so that any other variables or methods can occupy that place or that space in the memory. Okay, so there will be so much wastage of memory if we won't clear. Okay, so that is the reason garbage collector is present in Java. Okay, so garbage collector automatically, so it will collect the unwanted memory space and free that space. So once think that there is a code. Okay, we wrote some code in the notepad or in Eclipse or anything. So we wrote some code. So once that program got executed, then whatever the unwanted memory space is occupied by that program, so everything, the garbage collector will come and automatically free that space. Okay, so that other programs can get that space. Okay, is it clear what the garbage collector will do? In C and C++, it is not like this. So the garbage collector is not present there. Okay, so there is so much memory wastage. If we want to do means in C and C++, we need to do manually. Okay, so that is also one of the key feature of Java by having garbage collector. Is it clear? The features of Java. Is it clear for everyone? Let me know. Okay, so now we will discuss about architecture of Java. Okay, so the next concept is architecture of Java. So this is also one of the famous question which is asked in interview. Architecture of Java. Architecture of Java. Okay. So let me draw a diagram first. So the architecture of Java will look like. So first it will be having something called as JDK. Okay. So it will be having something called as JDK. Will be having something called as JDK, and internally it will be having something called as JRE. Okay, so what is this JRE, JDK? I will teach you. Okay, JRE. Okay, so JRE, and inside JRE we will be having JVM. So let me, we will be having JVM. JVM. Okay, so this is the architecture of Java. So inside JVM we will be having something called as JIT compiler. Okay, and one more thing called as interpreter. Okay, and one more thing called as class loader. Like this we will be having some elements inside JVM. So this is the architecture of Java. Okay, so let me explain one by one. So what is JDK first? Okay, so JDK. So what is JDK? So JDK is nothing but JDK defines Java Development Kit. What it is? It is a Java Development Kit. Okay. So and we can also call this JDK as a application. Okay. So it is a application. It is one type of application. So what is JDK? JDK is nothing but Java Development Kit, and we can also call it as a application. Okay, we can also call it as application. So for what purpose this JDK is used. Okay, what this JDK will do. Okay, we are having JDK inside the architecture, but what JDK will do. Okay, because the JDK is used because it contains some resources in it. So, okay, the Java development kit will contain some resources and softwares in it. So in order to develop an application, okay, so JDK will contain, it contains it contains some resources, some resources and softwares to develop an application, to develop an application. Okay, so in order to develop an application, we require some resources and softwares, right? So that resources and softwares is provided by the JDK to the Java. Okay, so JDK will provide resources and softwares to develop an application. Okay, so this JDK will be having some tools like development tools, or we can say it as dev tools. What it will be having? It will be having some dev tools. These tools also helped in developing an application. Okay, and this JDK is also contained one compiler which is called as Java C compiler. Okay, inside this JDK only we will be having Java C compiler. We know, right, what is the purpose of compiler? Let me know what is the purpose of compiler. What is the purpose of compiler? Please let me know in the chat box what is the purpose of compiler. Quick guys, you are taking too much time. Yes, yes, correct. Okay, so compiler is used to convert source code to the intermediate code, right? So this compiler, where it is present inside JDK. Okay, some people may ask where that compiler is present inside JDK. So the JDK provides Java C compiler. Okay, so this is the usage of JDK. So JDK is nothing but Java development kit, and it is also called as an application, and it contains some resources and softwares to develop a particular application, and it will be having some dev tools. With the help of the tools we can develop an application, and it is also containing Java C compiler. Okay, so inside this JDK we will be having JRE. Okay, so internally it contains JRE. Okay, so now what is JRE? Okay, so what is this JRE? So JRE is nothing but Java runtime environment. What is JRE? Java runtime environment. Java runtime environment. Okay, so it is also an application. Okay, we can call this also an application. Okay, so what this JRE provides? This JRE provides the necessary conditions, or we can say environment, okay, which is needed for executing the program. Okay, in order to execute the program, we need a platform or we need an environment, right? That environment is provided by the JRE. Okay, so what is the purpose of JRE? JRE, it provides necessary conditions, or we can say environment in order to execute an program. So which is needed to execute the program. to execute the program. Okay, so it contains it provides necessary environment which is needed to execute a particular program. And apart from this, it also contains some libraries. Okay, so it also contains some libraries. Okay, so what is libraries? You will let to know in the future. For now, just remember, library is nothing but combination of classes, interfaces. Okay, it is a combination of classes, interfaces, and some packages. Okay, so all these things we can have inside library. So it is a library is nothing but it is a combination of classes, interfaces, and some packages. So inside these packages, interfaces, and classes, we will be having some code. Okay, that code we can reusable. Okay, so that is the purpose of library. So whatever the classes or interfaces present inside the library, those interfaces and classes will be having some code, right? So that code we can reusable, means we can use at any time whenever we want. Okay, so that code is reusable. We can use that code in our development of an application. So JRE will also contain some libraries. Okay, is it fine for everyone? So what is JRE, what is JDK? Is it clear? Let me know quickly. Okay, so now coming to the next thing, which is JVM. JVM. Okay, so what is this JVM? So JVM is nothing but Java Virtual Machine. Okay, Java Virtual Machine. Okay, so what is the purpose of this JVM? So the purpose of this JVM is it converts intermediate code to low level language. Okay, so it converts the bytecode bytecode to low level language or mission level language. Okay, so this is the usage of JVM. And apart from this, it is also responsible for calling the main method. Okay, so it is also responsible for calling the main method. For calling the main method. Okay, so you may ask why main method need to be called. Okay, so if we take any program, so let me take this program. So if you see here, this public static void main string arguments, so this is called as main method. Okay, for now just know this is the main method. May some people may know this before only, so whoever don't know, just listen to this. So this method, this public static void main string arguments, is called as main method. Okay, so this main method is the starting point of the program. Okay, what is this main method? This main method is only the starting point of the program. Okay, so it is starting point of the program. Okay, so what it will happen means, so first JDK will come into the picture, next JRE will come into the picture, next JVM. What JVM will do? JVM will convert the bytecode to the mission code. After converting that, it need to execute the program, right? So before executing the program, in order to execute the program, the JVM first calls this main method. Okay, first calls this main method. It will check for the class name first, and later it will call this main method. Okay, so that is the reason why we call it as starting point of the program, because the execution will start from this main method. So whenever JVM calls this main method, so first main method it is called, and later whatever the statements under it, so inside the under this method whatever the statements present, all those statements will get executed. Okay, so all the statements will get executed. If I have 1,000 statements, okay, so if I have 1,000 statements, that those 1,000 statements will get executed once after main method is called by the JVM. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? Yes. So who will call the main method? JVM will call the main method. Why the main method need to be called? Because it is the starting point of the execution of the program. Once JVM calls the main method only, the program will get executed. Otherwise, it won't get executed. Okay. So this is the reason of JVM. So JVM will convert bytecode to low level language, and it is also responsible for calling main method. Okay. So coming to the next thing, which is JIT. Inside JIT, we will be having one component called as JIT. Okay. So JIT defines just-in-time compiler. Just-in-time compiler. Okay. What this will do? Okay, so if we take sometimes what we will do means, while we are developing an application, so we may repeat some piece of code. Okay, we may repeat some piece of code. So what it will do, once JVM converts the bytecode to mission code, so at that time line by line it will convert every line of code to the low level language. Okay, what this JIT will do means, so it will check for the repetition of the code. Okay, so it will check for the repetition of the code, and after if it finds any repetition of the code, then what it will do means, that repetition of the code, mission code will be there, right? So that repetition mission code will be stored inside this JIT. Okay, so let me explain with diagram. So think that this is the program. Okay, so let me have something that this is the piece of code. Okay, this piece of code is repeated so many times in my program. Okay, it is repeated so many times in my program. So once JVM convert this to a low level language, the JIT, what the JIT will do means, JIT will, let me write. So once JVM converts this bytecode, once JVM converts this bytecode to low level language, then we are having some repetition piece of code, right? So those repetition piece of code, mission code will be there, right? For this piece of code, some mission code will be there, right? That mission code will be stored inside this JIT. Okay, so that what it will do means, this will be given for the interpreter in order to execute the program. Okay, means if there is any repetition of code, then the interpreter will execute only one repetition of the code. It won't execute every time, it will execute only one. Okay, one piece of code. Okay, this is one piece of code, this is one piece of code, this is one piece of code, the same code, the repetition has been happened. So the interpreter, what it will do, it will execute only one repetition of the code. Okay, so by this what it will do means, we can reduce the execution time. Okay, with the help of this JIT, we can reduce the execution time, and we can optimize the performance of the program also. Okay, so with the help of this JIT, we can optimize the performance of the code, performance of the program, because it will store the repetition mission code, and it will give it to the interpreter. Okay, so now coming to the next component, which is interpreter. Okay, what this interpreter will do? So the interpreter will execute the code line by line. What it will do? It executes the code line by line. Okay, so interpreter is responsible for executing the code line by line. And coming to the next component, which is class loader. Okay, what is the thing the class loader will do? What is the work of class loader? So the class loader will load the file from secondary storage to executable area. Okay, so if I want to execute a program, that program should be present inside the executable area. Okay, so the class loader, so if you see here, if you observe here, I saved my code in the secondary storage. So this desktop I have saved, right? So this file will be stored inside secondary storage. But if I need to execute this file, it need to come to the executable area, right? So the class loader, whenever the JVM says to the class loader, at that time the class loader will respond to it, and it will load the .java file to the executable area. Okay, then only the file will be executed. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So what the class loader will do, it will load the class from secondary storage to executable area. So after it came into the executable area, the execution of the program starts. Okay, so this is the architecture of Java. I hope everyone is clear. So let me know. Okay, any doubts in today's class? So we will try to end up the class today. Any doubts? So let me know if there is any queries. So
No, ma'am.
just try to chat in the chat box whether you guys are understanding what I am teaching. Is it clear, or simply you are guys are listening the class? So someone is asking that when we use change directory, means if our based on our file. So if we store our file in some place, in order to change the directory to that particular location, we use change directory. Okay, so if there is no other queries, you guys can leave the bridge for the day. So someone is asking that how JRE provides the environment for the program, right? So I said, right, JRE will be having some libraries, right? So and it is also having some rt.jar file. So that jar file will be having some compressed files. Okay, so like if we I don't know whether you guys aware of scanner class in Java or not, but that scanner class is a compressed file which is present inside rt.jar file. Okay, so as it is providing some libraries, so that we can reuse the code. So that's how it will provide the environment. Yes, we need to import the packages in order to get that classes, in order to get that compressed classes. I hope it's clear. Okay, so any other doubts? So if there is no queries, you guys can leave the bridge. Yes, so class loader. So what class loader will do means, so whenever we save anything on our laptop, on our system, so it will be stored inside secondary storage. Okay, so in order to execute the program file should be present in the executable area. Okay, so that is the reason to get the file from secondary storage to executable area, we will go for class loader. The class loader will do that work. Is it fine? Is it clear? Hello, hello. Deepa. So, sorry. Okay, I'm not getting, your voice is not clear. Yeah. Okay, okay, yeah. Okay, 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 okay. So class notes I will share in the group.